Interview. All right, we're gonna be joined on the phone now with Eliza Getney, who has an incredible story to share. Good morning, Eliza. Thank you so much for getting up. You're in Boston, Massachusetts, correct?
I'm actually in Connecticut right now.
I apologize.
But yeah,
You're in
early.
Connecticut, so it's the association with Boston that I am leaning on right now because you have, as we mentioned, an amazing story. A year ago right now, you were injured in the Boston Marathon bombing. So take us back to a year ago right now. On April 15th, you were walking down Boylston Street about a block from your apartment in Boston, and what happened next?
Yeah, so I was walking and I was going to meet up with friends, and I thought I would just admire the people who were finishing the race, and I was just walking down the street. It was like an amazing day. I looked over to my right. I was right at the finish line, and then the bomb went off right behind me.
And what has your life been like since that day?
It's been different. I was injured physically, but compared to a lot of people, I was really lucky. And mostly I've been dealing with a lot of PTSD. I moved back to my parents' house in Connecticut, and I've just been trying to recover since.
It is an amazing ordeal to have to go through. And you graduated in 2011, and you were just back there for the marathon. And you weren't there as a runner, as I understand, when you were injured. You were just there as a bystander, you said. And so, but this year you decided to not only go back, but you were actually a runner. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the Boston Athletic Association offered everyone who was injured 2 entries to the 2014 marathon. So at first I was a little hesitant, but the more I thought about it and I had some people convincing me, I decided to run it and kind of take back that day.
It's such a brave thing for you to do on so many levels. I, in my lifetime, have only run as far as a half marathon, and that was such a difficult experience. What was it like? Were you a runner at all previously, or was this your first time ever doing any distance running?
I had done a half marathon, the Holy Half at Notre Dame when I was there, but that was a long time ago, 4 or 5 years ago. I'm not really sure. But I hadn't been running, and after the marathon, I had surgery and stuff, so I wasn't really exercising at all. So it was kind of, I started running. I had to start at like 1 mile.
Skype, do you copy audio?
It's certainly a mile by mile. I know everybody talks about the whole couch to 5K thing very jokingly, but it takes a lot to get up and to be able to run any amount of distance, and I'm sure each mile meant something to you. But let's start at the very beginning and at the starting line. What was going through your head when you were getting ready to go this last week, I guess it was?
I was excited when I first woke up. And we had to be in Hopkinton very early. Our bus left at like 5:30, and I didn't start till 11:25, so I had a lot of time to think about it, and I was just really anxious to start. But once I got there, it was really scary because I had some flashbacks. There were helicopters. When I looked up on the roof, there was so much security. There were snipers on the roof at the starting line. So I started to get really nervous, and I kind of panicked a little bit. But once we started running, I was fine.
And were you alone in that, or were you surrounded by other people who'd been through a similar experience with the last marathon?
Well, I had my best friend with me. She agreed to run with me, which was amazing. So we did all of our training together, my best friend from Connecticut. And then I also had my support group of, there were 28 of us who were injured in the marathon that trained and ran this year, so I got to know them all really well, and we were together all morning.
And we've seen all of the pictures of those amazing individuals who decided to take back that day, as you mentioned. What has that network meant to you, being a part of that group, and the bond I'm sure that you have formed that will stick with you for your lifetime?
Oh, it means everything. I was alone that day, and so for a couple weeks, I really had nobody to talk about the experience with. So once I met all of these people and joined the support group, they've really become a second family to me.
And as you were running through those streets surrounded by all of these people, what was it like as you hit each mile marker and those familiar sights were coming back to you, but at the same time you had to keep one foot in front of the other?
It was surreal. There were so many people there, and I just kept saying to my friend, like, we're running the Boston Marathon right now. This is really happening. And once I started getting closer to Boylston Street, again, I had some moments of panic. But my friend Liza, who was running with me, she helped calm me down, and we just kind of got through it together. I wouldn't have been able to do it without her.
And were you two together when you saw the finish line?
Yeah, we stayed together the whole race, which is pretty hard to do.
That is impressive. And what were you thinking about as you saw that finish line approaching?
I was like, thank God, because I was in a lot of pain. But it was really emotional. I was kind of crying a little bit and looking towards where the bomb happened last year, and I was really ready to rewrite those memories and kind of cross the finish line this year on my own terms.
And not only did you cross the finish line on your own terms, but you made this a mission, it sounds like. I understand you raised a considerable amount of money for the Boston One Fund, which supports and provides aid to all the bombing victims. Is that right?
Yeah, we raised $21,852.
Wow, that is something to be enormously proud of. And you are getting ready to go back to work. You've got so much ahead of you. What are your plans? Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I kind of feel like I closed that chapter of my life, and now I can move forward. I have one ear surgery ahead of me in May, and then after that, I'm going to try and get back up on my feet and see what happens.
Well, as you get back on your feet, I can promise you, you have the Notre Dame family behind you. And before we let you go, I do want to shift focus a little bit back here to campus. You're a 2011 grad. You haven't been gone that long. What do you miss most about your time at Notre Dame?
Oh, I miss my friends. I really miss my friends. They're all over the country and even the world. So we keep in touch as best we can, but it's always better when I get to see them.
Well, Eliza, on behalf of the entire Notre Dame family, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Good luck to you. I am certain I am not alone in wishing you the very best, and I'm sure you have so much ahead of you. So congratulations on finishing the marathon, and good luck to you.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. And now we are going to take another